Please ensure you have the correct writing equipment with you and your class books in front of you. As you make your way through the video lesson, take clear notes. For the Your Turn section, show full workings with your model question. Listen to instructions, pause to complete work, continue and mark work. Ask your classroom teacher for support if needed. Before we move on to looking at angles in polygons, we will look at angles at a point on a straight line. Ensure you get the main title down along with the date you are completing the lesson. Okay, have a look at the line on the screen. It says how many angles are on this line and where are they? So copy out the line in your exercise books and answer the questions. Okay, let's have a look at this line. So how many angles are there on this line? Well, you might have said that there's one angle at the end here all the way around, one here all the way around, one at the top and one at the bottom. However, let's look back at our title. It says angles at a point on a straight line. That is actually a defining feature. So in order to have an angle on a line, on a straight line, there needs to be a point on the line. Okay, so now that I've put a point on the line, how many angles are there on the line now and where are they? I am not going to count the two angles at the end. So if you said that in the previous question, for any of these questions, we're not going to look at the two angles on either end. We're just going to look at the point. So you might have said there are now two angles on the screen, one at the bottom here and one here. So that's a defining feature for this whole lesson. It needs to be an angle at a point on a straight line. By definition then, angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. This is one of the angle facts that you should know. Ensure you copy out the definition and write this down. And we have an example here. It says E and F, so on this line, add up to 180 degrees. So if the line has been split into two angles, the entire angle is split up to 180 degrees. If you don't have a point as a dot here, we will count this as a point where two lines meet. That is a point. So down here, that is a point, that is a point, that is a point. So if there's lines that meet the straight line, we will count that as a point. The characteristics, two or more lines connected to a single point. The angle makes a semicircle around the point and the total turn. Remember, angles is a measure of turn. So the total turn is 180 degrees. So if we look at this example here, a turn from there to there is 180 degrees. And there's some non-examples at the bottom. The reason why is because even though this is 180 degrees off that point, that's a whole different point. That's another 180 degrees. That's what these non-examples are trying to say. Also, this line here is a curve, so that's not going to count. It's angles on a straight line at a point add up to 180 degrees. Okay, we will go through one worked example and then you will have a go at the question on the right hand side. So it says, how many angles are there? What are they? And what is the value of P? Remember, we said we're not looking at the ones at the end here. We're just looking at the ones at the point. So I would say there is one angle there and technically there's one at the bottom. What is the value of P? Well, if this is 130 and we know that this whole thing is 180, in order to work out the value of P, we would do 180 take away 130, which equals 50. Therefore, P is 50 degrees. Remember, with angles, you always put the degree sign. Okay, copy this out as a model and then have a go at the one on the right-hand side. Let's have a look at this question. How many angles are there? So there's one angle there, one angle there, one angle there, and technically one at the bottom. And what are they? So I've just identified them. What is the value of P? This time we know that this entire thing at the top, so the angle at that one point is 180 degrees. Therefore, we know P add 60 add 70 equals 180 degrees. So in order to work out P, we do P equals 180 take away the 70, take away the 60. 180 take away 70 is 110. 110 take away the 60 is 50 degrees. Therefore, P equals 50 degrees. Okay, have a read of the question on the screen, have a go. Make sure you write down a full explanation, and then once you have done that, come back to the video. Right. It says, Tom says that the angle B is 30 degrees because it is 180 take away 115 take away 35. Do you agree? Well, we say he is wrong, so we disagree. Why do we disagree? Well, disagree because remember on non-examples, it can't be angles at these are two different points. So we can have two different points on the line, but it means that one angle, or those two angles there, add up to 180, and these two angles here add up to 180. They are two different points on the line. Angles at any one point add up to 180. So in order to work out angle B here, we would just do 180, take away 115. This has nothing to do with this one here. Okay, this is a whole different point on the line. So the only angle we're concerned with is this one here. So to work out B, we would do 180 take away 115, which is 65 degrees. So therefore B is actually 65 degrees and not what Tom would work out. Okay, have a look at the question on the screen. Once you have done that, come back to the video and we will go through it. It says, can we work out angle B here? Well, in order to work out angle B, we need angle A, because we know angles at a point on a straight line add up to 180. So this entire thing adds up to 180. So 35 add A add B equals 180. The two unknowns here are A and B. So in order to work out B, I need to know what A is. I can do 180 take away 35, and that gives me just A and B, but I don't have enough information here to separate the A and B, so we cannot work out angle B here, as we do not have angle A. That should be your explanation. What about here? Again, answer the question, show your full workings. If you can work it out, tell me what B is. Once you have done that, come back to the video. Okay, we learnt in our polygon notation last lesson that that little square means that is a right angle. You know a right angle is 90 degrees. So since we know this angle here now, we know that that's 90 and that's 35. This is the point. These are angles on a straight line. Even though the line is going down, it's still a straight line. So in order to work out B, we know 35 add 90 add B is 180. So B is 180, take away this one here, which is the 35, take away 90, which is 180 take away 90 is 90, 90 take away 35 is 55 degrees. Therefore, B equals 55 degrees. If you want to check if you've done that correct, always go backwards and make sure they all add up to 180. So 55 and 35 is 90, and 90 and 90 is 180. So we have done that correctly. So remember, they will not always write in the 90-degree angles, but if it's got that little notation with the square, you know that is a right angle. Okay, have a look at the diagnostic cell question on the screen. What is the size of angle N? Have a look at this question, have a look at what they have done incorrectly in the other options, make sure you answer in your exercise book and then come back to the video. Okay, let's have a look at angle N. You know, in order to work out angle N, you need to use the angle which is 37 degrees, as this entire thing is 180. So we do 180, take away 37 degrees, which is 143. Therefore, that should be the correct answer. You can automatically eliminate some of the others if we look at our number bonding. So you know that these two need to add up to 180. So this angle here and angle here needs to add up to 180. So, and 180 ends in a 0. It's in the 10 times tables. It's a multiple of 10. With our number bonding, you know, in order to add something to 37, to be in the 10 times table, the other number must end in 3. So it was between one of these two options here, but if you worked out correctly and you took it away correctly and you did your number bonding correctly, you saw that it was 143, not 133. 133 add 37 actually gives you 170, not 180. And with the other one, what have they done potentially incorrectly? With 167, they've potentially added 130, add 37, and they have got 167 at the missing angle. And with 130, they have just assumed that n and this one here is the same, even though nothing tells them that these two are the same. They've just assumed they're the same, and they've guessed that that is why they're both 130, but we know that is not correct, and the answer is 143 degrees. Okay, have a look at the questions on the screen. There are 11 questions. Go across. You don't need to do all of them. Spend about 3 to 4 minutes. Have a go at as many as you can. Pick and choose the one you can do. They do get increasingly more difficult with different elements to the question. Once you have had a go after 4 minutes, come back to the video and we will go through the answer. Okay, the answers are now up on the screen. Ensure you mark in a different coloured pen as always. You should be showing your full workings with each question as well, as we did in our model at the start. Once you have done that, move on to the next question. Okay, we now have a twist it style question. Choose any two from the screen, so you don't need to do both of them. Choose any two and find the value of x, and then find the value of each of the two angles, or in the other one, the 3 angles. So I'll label these A and B. You can choose any one. This is where you will need to use your solving equations or your algebra lessons that you completed before the half term. If you know how to solve your equations, it should be very easy. Remember, make it equal to 180. Use what you know about algebra facts and about angle facts. Okay, let's have a look at question A first. So, in order to work out angle X in A, you first need to see that this entire thing is 180. Angles at a point add up to 180. Therefore, angle X add 50, angle X add 50. Those two things add up to 180. What you can then do is simplify the two x's. So x add x is 2x, add 50 equals 180. Subtract 50 from both sides to get rid of the 50 here, so we are left with 2x equals 130. And then you need to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the 2 there. You want to get x on its own. X is therefore 65 degrees. So therefore, this angle is 65. To get this angle here, we would do 65 add 50 and it would give me 115. So the answers are 65 degrees and 115, and x equals 65. Okay, let's have a look at B here then. So this time we have x add 20, add 86, add another x equals 180. Remember, this entire thing is 180. So we have two x's there, so 2x, so this one here and this one here, add 20 add 86 is 106, 2x add 106 equals 180. Okay, in order to get the 2x alone, we would do subtract 106 from each side. 180 take away 106 is 74. So therefore, 1x equals 74 divided by 2, which is 37. You then substitute to work out each angle. X equals 37, so this one is easy, this one is 37. We've already got this one, it's 86. To get this one here, we do 37 add 20, which is 57. So the angles are 57 degrees, 86 degrees, and 37 degrees. It is now time for you to finish off on a GCSE style question. read the question on the screen, have a go at as much of it as you can, and then once you have done that, come back to the video and we'll go through it. Okay, let's have a look at the answers now. So the first thing you needed to identify is that this is an isosceles triangle. The reason we know that is because of our angle notation. So we can see that this line here and this line here shows that it's an isosceles. In any isosceles triangles, remember, those two angles are also the same. If these two lines are the same, those two angles are the same. So if this is 50, then this is also 50. You then saw that that was an angle on a straight line. This is my point. Therefore, to work out angle x, if we know this is 50, we do 180, take away 50 is 130. Your explanation, like I've written here, it doesn't need to be word for word, but something along the lines of base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. Angles on a straight line add up to 180, therefore this is how you work this out. Okay, it's now time for you to complete some independent practice as set by your classroom teacher.